Hello and welcome back to Biz Stories. Here with us Jazz. She's an accounting and finance student at Swansea University and she's all-round the person who does literally everything. So Jazz, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Jazz, I'm from Cardiff and I do accounting and finance.
So Jazz, what kind of experience do you have in accounting and stuff like that?
So I did a placement year in Target Group in which I was an accounts assistant, so I did things like bank reconciliations, tax, Excel spreadsheets, basically anything. I did internal controls, I did from auditing to tax, financial accounting, management accounting, just a lot, and that really helped me understand my degree. I also worked voluntarily at Cardiff Steiner School as their accounts assistant, in which I learned Sage Line 50 and stuff like that, and I also did some freelance work with another tax partner from Target Group, in which I just basically shadowed him and learnt different things of, for accounting and the software.
So when you applied for your placement here in Target Group, did you go through specific recruitment process? Was it hard? Was it easy?
Oh yeah, I think with all recruitment processes it's quite hard. First you obviously put your CV and cover letter in. Obviously your cover letter has to be, specific to Target Group. You can't just, bang out your CV and bang out your cover letter. And then after that you get told if you get into the next stage. The next stage is then, doing the online tests. And then after that, if you get successful, it's then an interview with, people like HR. And then after that, if you're successful, then you also have an interview with the people that you'll be working with in your team. So it is quite hard, but...
It was pretty broad, basically, yeah?
Yeah, my placement was very broad, yeah.
Also about your placement, what would you say is one of your best and difficult moments?
Oh, my best moment, I won an award by the CFO for all the work I'd done, which I didn't expect. I was really surprised. I was like, oh, okay, perfect. And that was really nice because it meant that all the work that I'd done had been to a good standard. And then the worst probably moment is when, your manager is asking you, these accounting terms that you should kind of know, but you kind of can't remember, or you're quite vague with them, and you're like, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to be wrong. So trying to do that is quite difficult because you're like, I want to impress them and I want them to know that they've picked the right person, but then you're kind of like, oh, I can't remember, I don't know what to do. But they're really, people in industry, they understand that you're from university, you're not going to know all. So, that was probably the hardest bit.
Okay.
It was very challenging for you. You wanted to exceed their expectation, basically. So you wanted to work hard and always sounds and look right.
Yeah. I wanted them to, be sure they made the right choice when employing me. And not, and I felt like if I didn't know what I was talking about, or if I was a bit iffy in certain places, that they wouldn't see. I didn't want to, come across as unprofessional. But, the best thing that, you can do is probably ask your manager and say to them, look, I don't understand this, or I can't remember this. And they're really supportive. They won't, ever be like, oh, you're wrong, this is bad. So I learnt a lot from my experience.
Are you thinking of doing a master's next year, or do you feel like you want to go straight into the work industry?
I'd like to go straight into the work industry, just with accounting, to get all your exemptions and all of that. I am thinking of doing a master's as well, just in case the applying to jobs doesn't work out. But I'm in a bit of a situation. I don't really know what I'm doing, so that's where I'm at.
It's a bit hard to find a job nowadays. It's very competitive.
It's
the
very
market,
competitive.
Isn't it?
Yeah, very. I've applied for 40 jobs, so.
40 jobs.
Yeah. So, and whilst doing my full-time degree, it's like, oh, and then you get to the stages, and you've done all this work, and then you don't get it, and it's really disheartening. But I'm just trying to keep on going, and yeah.
So you said you're applying to jobs, but it's not working out. It's a bit hard because out there, especially the big companies, it's very competitive. Everyone is applying for it. Even I'm applying for jobs and find it very difficult.
Yeah.
So what things uni gave you, kind of opportunities to improve yourself? What roles do you play in uni, or do you do anything specific in uni?
Yeah, so with the university, they've obviously got the employability, centre, and that kind of helps you look at your CV, look at the way that you get interviews, and tell you the things that you could do better in. Also, I do things to kind of make me a bit more extra on my CV. So I'm a subject rep for accounting and finance. So I basically go to board of studies, check that all the students are feeling all right about their exams or about their modules, and then feedback what we could do better. And then student ambassador, I basically do that as well. So with the university, I do the open days, or I'm working in a call centre and just promoting the university, because I believe that it's a really good university to be in. So that's the kind of academic side of things. I've also an athlete for the university, so I competed in Welsh varsity in my first year. Not so much now, because university is stressful, so I'm not doing that much training, but no, those are kind of the extra things that I do to put on my CV.
What do you see yourself in 10 years' time?
Oh, I don't know.
Good question.
Hopefully I'm chartered, and hopefully everything's going well. I don't really know. I'd like to say that my career's going well in 10 years' time.
Well, it's going well now. I mean, you did your placement year, you got all this experience behind you.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody accepts you, which I'm pretty sure they will right now.
Yeah.
You're applying for jobs.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully, we'll see. You never know, do you? So I might even, who knows, I might have to change what I do. So, but yeah, I feel like as long as I'm happy in what I do, I'll be good at it, hopefully.
So, in uni, do you do anything other than subject rep and student ambassador?
Well, I work as well. I have a part-time job. So I work in a cafe, and I also work as freelance, kind of accounts assistant. So when people need like backlogs done, or they might need some help on their self-assessment tax return, I kind of step in with the company that I'm in, and I just do bits and bobs. I don't really do anything, but I try to, because obviously I'm trying in my final year, I'm trying to not do too much, because I don't want to.
Yeah, but all those bits and bobs will build up, and become something big.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
It's definitely worth it as well, isn't it? So, are you part of any societies in uni or in school of management?
Yeah, I'm part of. I'm the vice president for the Accounting Society, and we're doing some events. I'm also, what other society? I think I'm Women in Business. I'm in that society. I was in the Investment Society, and then I kind of took it down because I didn't really go to it as much as I could. So those are kind of the School of Management societies that I'm in, but they're quite fun.
So
quite nice.
Your role as a vice president in the Accounting Society, so what kind of things do you do?
So I kind of, help with the roles of like kind of getting people into which roles they want to do for this society, making sure that everybody like our the things that we're putting out to social media is okay and that it's professional. I also make sure I'm going to be going to lectures and telling them about the Accounting Society and getting people to join up, stuff like that, trying to make sure that it's all kosher and professional. So that's what I do.
You're a very, very busy person.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, very busy.
So would you give any kind of advice to students who are studying accounting and are kind of lost, or just generally to students on how to deal with everyday life in university?
I think with everyday life in university, you've got to make sure that your mental health is good, and you've got student experience officers that really do help you out. I think the most important is your health. I think always make sure that you're healthy when you're going into a degree, especially if it's full term, because it's so much pressure and you don't really think about it, but it is, the amount of things that you've got to do. You need to make sure that you're healthy first and foremost. In terms of I would say definitely join societies. I think it's really important, and it kind of shows employers that you're doing something extra. I would say if you can, become a student ambassador, because it's really good for your CV as well. Also, it's really nice to be a part and give something back to the university, because I believe that they've given me so much, and that's why I do all of this extracurricular stuff. It's not just because it benefits me, it's because I want to do something for the university. But I just, I'd say, make sure that if you are studying accounting, that you know what you're getting yourself into. I didn't find out until my first year that after I graduate, I've got another 3 years of studying. So, yeah, I didn't realise that. But you know, I'd say always make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into.
So we're gonna summarize basically with this question. For your placement year, a lot of students don't know whether to go for placement or not, because some people they say, oh, I don't want to take another year. So do you think from personal experience, is it worth it or not, and why, please?
I'd say it's definitely worth it going for placement. The target group offered me to do the graduate scheme. It wasn't what I wanted, so I kind of said no, because it was more business kind of role rather than accounting. But it's just getting your foot in the door, and it kind of shows that you're not just going to university getting a degree. It goes that you're actually going out into the real world, and you're showing people that you're not just thinking about, you know, being a student. You're thinking about being a professional. So I think that's really important, and I think if you can do a placement year, I know it's really hard to get into those, you know, placement years, to just try and do it, because it's great experience.
Thank you, Jazz.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jazz.
Thanks.
So thanks guys for listening, and see you next time with best stories.